So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. Today we're going to discuss a very notorious topic, a notorious trend, and it is one that a lot of people will typically shy away from so as not to offend sensitivities. But today we're going to sit down on that round table and we're going to talk, and if that table breaks, it breaks. I wouldn't even call it a trend per se, because it is something that has been going on for some time now. It's just that social media, this era of social media, snap anything you see, record anything you see and post, is now highlighting it, accentuating it. But it has been going on for some time now. Let me say from our mother's time, from the last generation of women up until now. Ever since religion in Nigeria and in Africa became commercialized, became franchised, and became a profit-making venture for a lot of people, the very moment the core of the teachings shifted from salvation and love and became more focused on prosperity and solutions and breakthrough, more and more women seeking answers and solutions are falling prey to more and more pastors and men of God offering them. A few days ago, I came across this video of this man of God being disgraced and paraded. The word out there is that he has been having sexual relations with a woman, a married woman, a member of his church, as a matter of fact, a chorister, and that relationship has lasted for well over 10 years. And do you want to know the coincidence in all of this, the irony? It was this same pastor that joined the woman and her husband in holy matrimony. Chai! Now, I'm not here to analyze the legal dimension of this occurrence, but just in case, if you are curious to know if adultery or having sex with your church member is a crime in law, if the police has the right to make an arrest at such offender, the answer is no. But remember that I am a practical lawyer, and I will tell you what you will see in the books and what you may see in reality. And before that law is put into effect to save you, my dear, you may have lost your head. So legality, morality, and practicality are three different concepts. Now, this case, very unfortunately, is just one out of many. A few months ago, right on this channel, we covered a case, the case of a woman, a pregnant, heavily pregnant woman, who was caught pants down in bed with her pastor, her spiritual father. Oh, we will not forget in a hurry, Pastor Great of the Miracle House of God Ministries, same Benin City. Pastor Great was fingered in a sexual affair with one of his church members, a married woman. The woman's husband, Mr. Anthony, discovered the relationship through a voice note that he ran into, where the pastor was heaping accolades and praising his wife's sexual prowess, anticipating some more action and arranging future occurrences. Her husband ran across the message. Pastor Great was lucky enough to have absconded, to have escaped before the youths of that community descended on his church and brought it down. The case of this pastor and his married lover is no different from these examples and so very many others that I would not want to drag on further recounting. Tons of them, so one can only imagine the several others that never came to light and would never come to light. You see, a few videos back when we discussed the controversy surrounding Pastor Toby Adegboyega of the Spark Nation Assembly and Ezene, the wife of the professional footballer Kayode. Oh, that video is very educative, very eye-opening, very revealing. I greatly suggest that you go back and watch that video. Lots of gems were spilled in it. I'm going to leave the link down in the description box, maybe pinned in the comment section. And hey, this is a good time to remind you that if you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching us without subscribing, please hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and drop your thoughts. This is real life. Let us not shy away from the fact that, oh, these things don't happen. Just because it is not supposed to happen does not mean that it never happens or it doesn't happen. This is a reality. And over here, we unabashedly discuss all social issues, regardless of how pricky, how sensitive they are. So drop your comments down in the comment section as we discuss. So in that video of Pastor Toby and Ezine, I detailed to you guys the kinds of men that married women or women generally will more likely fall for and sleep with. I told you guys that women by our very design are less likely to see some hot guy in a magazine and start anticipating or envisioning a sexual encounter with him. It may happen, please. I always tell you, do not quote me on exceptions. There are bound to be outliners in every general principle, but I'm talking typically. A woman may not be immediately sexually attracted to that guy that sees her at the bar or in the club or at a gas station and winks at her. In fact, she might be very offended and disgusted. And again, I'm not talking about women who are in the business of transactional sex. Generally, women will be first drawn to feelings, emotions, connections, being comfortable with the man that she would eventually let into her bed or grace his own bed. And that is why a randy man can travel to Abuja or Dubai or wherever in the world he travels to and have enjoyable sex with a girl that he does not know. But a woman will sleep with a man that she knows. A man within. A man she feels a strong emotional connection with. A man who is nice to her, kind to her, listens to her, compliments her, makes her feel special. A man that can get to her emotions. And that's why I cited examples with her ex-boyfriend, her gym buddy, her BFF that her man warned her about, her very nice colleague, always providing a shoulder to cry on, her charming neighbor, her charismatic boss, and of course, her pastor. We're getting somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, pay attention. My odogus, are your ears here? Listen to me. In this video, I'm going to give you the cocoa, and I'm going to add on top a bonus signal, a bonus expo. So those who are receptive and desirous of new knowledge or new perspectives would stand a chance here. But those that feel they know everything, there are some men that know women even more than women themselves. They will start arguing. Read Proverbs 18 verse 2. Hallelujah, somebody. Many women fall for sexual iniquity because they are searching for or are in need of something. It's almost like a void that she's trying to fill. For some, it's simply the need, the desire for material things. For others, it is a desire to be loved, to be seen, to be heard, to be admired, to be wanted, to be desired, to be appreciated. First, she would seek it from her husband. And when all fails, when she feels like she cannot get it from there, most married women would shift all of that want, that void, to their children. That's if she has any, right? Some would shift it further to religion. And that's why if you see most women that are going through a tough time in their marriage, the church becomes their husband, their second home. That's where they run to. Are you following me? And under enabling circumstances, where the risk of casting is eliminated, she may likely shift it to that emotionally available person, that self-reassuring person in that space that I have earlier mentioned. Infidelity 101. Welcome to lectures. You think women don't cheat? Women cheat. But women are a lot more discreet. And today we are opening all the buttons. No. It is not only the men. It swings both ways. And we're going to analyze it, laying more focus to this epidemic of married women having sexual affairs with their pastors. But before I go on, please note that this is not a justification for adultery. This is not an excuse for adultery. And if you know me and know what we are all about on this channel, you would agree that I am not a supporter of sexual infidelity for anybody, for any gender at all. So causes are not necessarily excuses. In court, a man can say, oh, I stole because I was hungry or because my child was hungry. Now that is a reason. That is his cause, a cause for stealing. But that is not an excuse. And that is not a justification. So reasons are not excuses. We are just trying to discuss the subject matter holistically. Why more and more married women than you may ever imagine or know are getting into sexual relationships with their pastor, and how everyone should be very careful, especially these women in question. And so we have these women who are predisposed to searching, finding, fixing, trying to get a solution to a problem. And then we have these other set of people, the pastors, who seem like they have the solution. And then the question is, how are these married women ending up sleeping with their men of God? 1, vulnerability during personal crisis. Many women look for solutions in religion when they are undergoing personal crisis. Of course, women are a lot more religious than men, generally speaking, while men are a lot more, I don't want to use the word practical, but let me just say they are more on ground with things. And that is why we have more women in church and more men in jail. That's a fact. Married women find themselves turning not only to God, but to their pastors during periods of difficulties. Difficulties such as marital struggles, loss, personal crisis generally. They turn to their pastors. And the comfort, the solace, the listening ear, and the attention provided can end up creating an emotional bond that may fast escalate when not put into check. 2, frequent unsuspectable interactions. Now tell me that's one place that an average husband will be most comfortable having his wife visit or stay in or even spend the night in. If there's one place that's when your husband calls you and say, baby, I'm here, the man will be like, okay. Which place is that? The church, the abode of these pastors. A husband might have a problem with one of his wife's friend, or her hanging out with this male colleague, or any other place, her going for this late night party or something. But an average man is very okay with his wife in church praying for the family. Am I correct? Or am I right? So it's a place that the woman can go to without any suspicion, without any looking at the clock. Oh, they'll soon catch me. My husband will ask me, why did I spend 1 hour here? It's a safe place. And so these frequent visits, these close one-on-one interactions, quiet practice together, private conversations, spilling and unraveling of secrets, deposition of trust, confiding, close mentorships, and unhealthy dependencies. And remember what I told you about a woman, even a married woman, sooner falling sexually for someone in emotional space with her pastor is top on that list. And since there are usually no suspicions, no confrontations, no bias in these constant affiliations and visitations, it can easily get out of hand. 3, I'll call my third point power dynamics. Many women in Nigeria, in Africa, idolize their pastors. Sometimes it is almost pathetic to see. They almost equate him to God himself. They respect him more than any other person in the world. Not their fathers, not their husbands. Their pastors become the number 1 male figure in their lives, and they worship that man of God more than God Almighty himself. So this pastor's position of authority, his perceived wisdom and perfection can easily create a dynamic where admiration and dependency are fast misinterpreted to romantic feelings. This deep, extreme reverence can be so overwhelming that given the right place and opportunity, ultimate surrender and obedience will be obtained. Even when the woman knows that it is not the right thing to do. Because she is so consumed with obsession, she almost cannot bring herself to disobey him. She becomes so fixated and hypnotized, almost as though she's in a trance. And when he says, take off your clothes, she wouldn't even be able to say no. It sounds like a command from God. Pastor worshiping, a cancer. Then we have the next point, the charismatic influence. Charismatic pastors with strong oratory skills, capable of influencing and impacting, and of course inspiring, can inadvertently create a spiritual attraction that quickly moves to romantic affection if not checked. Pastor is preaching with his tuxedo, spilling it, and he's hitting you in that place, oh my God, and you are just mesmerized. Charismatic influence. The same thing that happens to women that end up sleeping with their bosses. And the last point in this video, desperation for solutions. No species in the world stops at their quest for finding a solution. And that's why the beauty industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Because you get this product, oh, this product can make my cheeks be like this, and you get it, and the next day you are buying another one, and the next day you are buying the one that will make your eyes look like this, you are buying the one that will make your teeth white, you are buying the one that will make your boobs firmer, you are buying the one that will make your stomach shrink, constantly in the quest for solutions, desperately. And that also transcends to the spiritual lives of many women. A woman so desperate for a solution to her problems, when offered with a solution, or when she perceives that this solution can lie or lies in the hands of this man of God, might go across the borders of things to get that solution. Many of these women looking for fruit of the wombs, oh my God, they are usually taken advantage of by pastors who would promise them that the holy fluid, the semen from Jerusalem, once he enters them, bam, they will take him. Women looking for solutions to spiritual problems, some even solutions for their husband's problems, their husband's illness, their husband's unemployment, find themselves doing unthinkable things in the name of trying to find a solution. And these pastors, the fake ones of course, they know. And when these women do not have discretion of their own, or the true wisdom of the Holy Spirit dwelling in them, they would fall prey to some of these phonies that pose as pastors. I have 3 pieces of advice for my ladies and women watching me, and of course, for my men. First, it's important that we all know that our men of God are still men. And that is why they are called men of God, not God of men. So they are men first before of God. They are very much capable of every single thing that the next man is capable of. And when I say he is capable of, it means having a capacity to do something. I'm not saying he does it or he must do it, but there is a tendency. There is an innate possibility which can be controlled by either discipline or spiritual awareness, being born again truly. But those tendencies exist. Never forget it. Your pastor is a man. Yes, he may be ordained by God, but he is human. Don't think that because he is a pastor, he is automatically unable to do wrong. That he is sexually disabled and incapacitated. My dear sister, shine your eye. Make you not go mess yourself up or mess your marriage up. Secondly, the sooner we realize that it is not everybody parading themselves as men of God or pastors that are truly servants of Christ, or that have been called by God. Some pastors, God called them, while some others, They call themselves stomach infrastructure, hunger. Some are just good motivational speakers. You might have the gift of talking to people and getting to their bone marrow, and they will confuse it for pastor. In every field, in every profession, there would always be the real ones and the fake. There would always be outliers. What makes you think and swear and vouch that your pastor is Assistant Jesus? Because he has good command of the knowledge of the Bible and he can preach and shake the walls when he prays. So can Lucifer. Be careful. Don't be over-trusting. Don't leave common sense at home. And lastly, for my women, it is good that I remind you that all the bridge you need to God is via Jesus Christ. For Christians, when Christ died and the curtain of the temple tore, he broke the barriers. Before, you couldn't even talk to God directly. You needed the prophet that would enter into the temple and talk to God and come out and tell the people what God said. But Christ came to break the barrier. So why have you created another prophet for yourself, just like the Old Testament? Why have you manufactured another bridge and barrier for yourself? Why are you not confident enough in the power that God has vested in you? The Bible said that he that is in you, he that is in me, is greater than he that is in the world. It didn't say he that is in my pastor. So why do you think that you cannot pray and ask God for something and he would give it to you? When you go around searching for what is not searching for you, desperate for solutions, jumping from one church to another, one day you will lead yourself into a hot mess. Because when you are desperate, you are vulnerable. And when you are vulnerable, you will be preyed on. It's just like women that are very desperate for marriage. You see them falling victims of men that would take advantage of that desperation. Be wise. Be aware of who you are. Learn to cultivate a personal relationship with your God. And for the men, for my darling Odogus, I'm going to give you a red flag. I know some of my sweet darlings, my ladies, might be offended. But you know, getting offended is part of the business that I do. You can't be offended, but this is my opinion. Please state yours if it's contrasts with mine. When a woman is daddy said, overtly, daddy said, this daddy is not her father or pastor. Daddy said, everything daddy said. To me, it's a red flag. When a woman is exhibiting extreme behaviors towards her pastor, she can't make any decision, pastor. Even before she shows her own parents, the man she wants to marry, pastor first. Pastor must approve it. She can pack everything in the house and give it to pastor without reasoning logically what her family will survive on. It's like she's consumed. Pastor, it's a very big red flag. Secondly, it's good that our men, our Odugus, are reminded that they are the priests of their homes. You know, many times, many men are very comfortable to just relinquish that title and give it to their wife. Please handle, pray, fast for us, go to church for us. Any head of the house that involves stress, they can easily relinquish that one for you. The head of the house, their words is the one when they can do and don't do. But this one now, you see what we're talking about? So it is good that men are reminded that they are the priests of their homes. Being the head of the family is not just the one that dishes out orders. Be that pastor, that priest in your household. There is no reason why a woman should be married and be overtly dependent, both emotionally or spiritually, on another man. Both of you should spiritually grow each other. I'm not saying a man of God cannot pray for somebody or he cannot mentor somebody, but there should be boundaries. And lastly, don't be over trusting of any man of God. I'm sorry to say. And I'm not just saying this for wives alone, even children. If you see your wife sending your young female child, whether female or male, because a lot is happening in the world that we live in today. If you see your wife sending off your child to go and clean some priest's house or some pastor's house, please be mindful. Discourage that behavior. I'm not demonizing any pastor, but as I mentioned earlier, there are good and bad people in every field. Shine your eyes. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of this video. I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your comments. I want to get your reactions down in the comments section. Which of all these things I have said struck you the most? And have you ever fallen victim? I call it victim in quotes because it takes two. Nobody's a victim here. But have you ever fallen a victim to a pastor's sereres? Drop all of that down in the comments section. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you've seen my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comments section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.